Hello and welcome to the first episode of Valuetizing. Today we are going to talk with Daniel Matallana, a yoga teacher turned sales closer, author, and mindset coach. Daniel was born in Colombia, just like me, and he has a very interesting perspective around mixing sales and spirituality, which will be highly valuable for any salesperson or entrepreneur looking to make more sales while being true to your values. Daniel, welcome to the show. Attention marketers and entrepreneurs, this is Valuetizing, the place where we talk about scaling brands worth promoting. If you are a mission-driven entrepreneur obsessed with creating, scaling, and exiting multi-million-dollar brands, this is for you. My name is Santiago Phoenix and I am a business growth consultant, online marketer, and investor. I have helped more than 107 and 8-figure founders increase profits, claim their time back, and transform the world. Now it's your turn. Welcome to the show. How do you see the relationship between sales and spirituality? Because I think it's a very unique approach that you have.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I never imagined myself in sales because I come from a education and mental health background, and that led me to study psychology and then yoga and meditation and travel to different places around the world. But eventually, I also found myself in some business environments and even working in the corporate world. And I realized that sales is a high-level spiritual activity. What do I mean? Because sales is a transmission of energy. Yeah. When you're talking to someone and you are connecting and creating trust, openness for them to think deeper about the situation, where they are, where they want to go, and you get them to find something new within themselves, a new perspective, a new pathway, a new solution. That's spiritual for me, right? That's what spiritual people, like prophets and saints, that's what they were doing. They were transmitting energy, they were transmitting wisdom, they were transmitting opportunities and new possibilities. So I've realized that by talking to people, by selling them things, products and services that will help them solve problems, that will help them move forward in their lives, that's actually a spiritual activity. So in the past, I thought, okay, I have my meditation practice and then I have my work. They're two separate things. But now it's part of the same energy. So I consider sales, and I am on many sales calls every day, as part of my spiritual practice. When you're able to connect with someone and help them find a solution and help them evolve, that's what's more spiritual than that, right? You're transmitting compassion, faith, clarity. At the same time, it's a practice. So it requires daily work, persistency, accountability. There are so many different aspects to it, like, as you mentioned, being present, listening better, having that kindness and compassion towards someone else who's just a human being, and they have their own suffering, their own struggles, and they're looking for ways to overcome them. And at the end of the day, they're looking for happiness, and you are there to help them find that, whether it's with a fitness program or a technology or whatever it is. Those are all just vehicles for happiness, freedom, for emotions. And so I think it's hard in the sense that, we are creatures of habit, and sometimes our habit is to be self-absorbed or to just be like worried about our own situation. And sales is about, hey, connect to someone else.
You are also an introvert naturally, right? I read that somewhere.
Yeah, kind of. We have both energies. And in my case, I think I'm mostly an introvert. I enjoy spending most of my time on my own. Like, I can shift gears quickly. I can also become very outgoing and extroverted. But for me, it requires daily practice to put myself out there, to open up to the people that I'm speaking with, so that I can have a deeper connection. It's natural, but at the same time, it requires practice.
Yeah, I see. So what about this practice? Because I mean, I'm on your Facebook group, which we can talk a
Mhm.
little bit about later. And
Yeah.
you mentioned about daily habits and kindness and gratitude. I remember.
Mm.
So it seems like you have a very well thought out routine and habits. Can you talk more a little bit about this? What are the key habits that maintain your well being, your high achievement, all of this?
Yeah, well, nowadays, I mean, there's a lot of talk about habits and morning routine and evening routine and all this stuff. It makes sense, right? Because we are creatures of habit. First, we make our habits, then our habits make us. In my case, I studied meditation with Buddhist monks in Thailand, and they used to say that our mind is very powerful, right? When we focus on something, we can manifest it, even we can heal our body. So, in a way, our body can control our mind, but our habits control our mind. Because even if you have like good thoughts, but you have the habit of being lazy or being afraid or disorganized, or those habits will be stronger. And neurologically, they're just patterns in your brain. Just like people who have addictions, they have a strong pattern to smoke, drink, gamble. And then what I realized is that the habits that have the biggest impact in my life are like universal qualities like generosity, truth, and joy. What do I mean? Those are qualities that are present in all cultures and religions, and they seem very like intuitive, but somehow we forget about them because we're stressed and we're like worried about money, or we're just like in our own bubbles. And I learned it through a book called The Diamond Cutter, and also through a friend of mine who is a coach and a spiritual teacher. And he introduced me to that book and just told me, listen, if you focus on these habits, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
You will start creating some pathways in your brain that will transform everything. And many people talk about that, like coaches or spiritual teachers, they talk about, hey, this is going to change your life. And it sounds nice, but it's only real when you actually practice it through repetition, through daily habits, so that it actually changes your brain.
Yeah.
So what happens when you if you, for instance, if you don't have money and you struggle with abundance, the solution to that is practice generosity in any shape or form as much as you can. Be intentional every day. And in fact, in that book, The Diamond Cutter, it's a practice that comes from Tibetan Buddhism, and the monks would do it like very strict way, several times a day, like 7 times a day, as part of their daily routines. They would practice generosity in small gestures, like, okay, this morning I need to practice at least 3 acts of like generosity. I need to help one of my friends. I need to clean broom the temple or whatever. Small daily acts. And what that happens in our normal lives is that when you start like tipping more, and I don't mean being irresponsible with money, but just being intentional, you shift your mindset, and suddenly you're abundant, right? You have more money, you have more time. Like when people say I don't have time, and you practice generosity with your time. Like I've met very successful business people, and they're extremely generous with their time.
Okay.
And it's interesting because you would think, no, they're very busy, like, they don't have time. They're intentional. So no, I'm going to give you my time because it's valuable. And so as a result, they have more time because you get what you give. So I started practicing that a few years ago, and it's a game changer. Even when I didn't have much money or instability, or I lost a job and I didn't know what was going on, I was abroad. Should I have to go back to Colombia? Should I have to like ask for help from my family? And I just kept practicing generosity, like giving a lot of money to taxi drivers, and suddenly seeing people light up. And then, wow, It's crazy. Even in difficult moments, like one time I was teaching meditation in Israel, in Palestine. I was robbed. Suddenly I lost everything. I didn't have any money, passport, anything. I'm in Palestine. I don't speak Arabic. I don't speak Hebrew. But somehow I received a lot of generosity from families, from people. And now that I think about it, this friend of mine, this teacher who introduced me to this philosophy and to this book, I connected to him thanks to that event. That event, the person who robbed me in Palestine gave me an amazing gift, gave me the gift of abundance. So if you don't have money, practice generosity, daily habit. If you feel stressed or you feel like confused, anxious, practice truth. What do I mean? Practice integrity. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you say you're going to call a friend, call them. Don't lie. And what that creates is it creates more clarity in your mind. Because most of us, we're liars, right? We're constantly telling lies to others and to ourselves. And as a result, we're confused. So once you start practicing, and it's crazy, like you start being aware of it. And the whole point of that book is you write it actually. It's called Tracking the Noble Qualities. So you track, you write in a journal like several times a day. Hey, this morning I did this generous act, and you track your behavior. Oh, I said a lie. I lied to my mom. I told her, I don't know, something that wasn't really true, or I exaggerated something, you know? And then you start being aware, like, why am I telling all these lies? You know? Especially on social media, and like it kind of becomes the norm. But when you start being more aware, you practice integrity and truth, you start finding more mental clarity. And finally, if you feel sad or like life has no meaning, then you practice joy. Practice the feeling of life being fun and easy and kind of effortless. Like things are flowing in a good way. And it's very interesting because I've met like successful people, quote unquote, who have money or whatever, but they're kind of stressed. You can tell they're not very happy. And so I started sharing that with them. Just practice joy. Simple things like when you're in the shower, just take a moment, close your eyes, and like just enjoy the shower. Like don't worry about what you're doing next and you're rushing to work and you're like worried. Just enjoy that moment.
Just do it.
Like practice joy. Tell your mind it's actually quite nice, and it creates a pattern in your brain so that even when things go wrong, which of course they will because that's part of life, like in my case I was robbed, but because I was practicing these things, I don't know, it was very strange. It was like something bad is happening, but I'm okay. Like it's like, I don't know, it's like you have a different perspective. That's a game changer. When you talk about habits, sure, different habits help, being organized, having a morning routine, meditating. But the most powerful habits for me are generosity, truth, and joy. And if you make that like a focus, you don't have to worry about anything.
Would you like a custom plan to scale your business? If you want to increase profits without adding more complexity to your life, go to myplantoscale.com and get our free scaling guide right now. It will help you get clear on your business and life goals, ensure your business is optimized for growth, and simplify your schedule so you can focus on what truly matters, making more money while enjoying life and changing the world. Now, back to the show.
So now that you talk about the successful people, because of course you are surrounded with a world level sales team, but for you personally, what is success? What is your definition of success?
Yeah, it's funny because I think that it's constantly changing. For me, it's more about being authentic and like really listening to yourself and expressing yourself. And I think that's something that many artists or spiritual teachers that I connect with, that inspire me, have said similar things. When you find you can be really true to yourself, when you find you can be authentic and you're just expressing yourself, like if you're playing drums and you're just playing and being one with the music and feeling the rhythm, and that's success to me, or in my case. But the funny thing is that right now, I don't think it is attached to a specific like situation. I think it's more that feeling that I can have right now as I'm talking to you. I can feel that I'm expressing myself authentically. So I feel fulfilled. I feel grateful that we're sharing this moment together. Maybe it inspires others, maybe not, but I'm expressing myself authentically. So it makes me feel very, yeah, very good. And that's success to me.
That's so interesting. And as a student, I think one of the things that I deal with is a lot of comparison with my teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this has happened to you, because, for example, Dan Locke, he has a very successful YouTube channel, and I have tried to do YouTube. As I mean, it's not. I do not feel what you are saying, that I'm expressing authentically. Like, it's not my thing, but I still compare myself with those standards. How do you deal with comparison and like avoiding shiny object syndrome? You know, because on the internet you can see opportunities all around you. So how do you stay in your truth? You know?
Yeah, so the way I see it is there's nothing wrong with comparison or with shiny object syndrome, because that's how we learn in a way. Like when you're a kid, when you know children, you are copying the people around you. You're copying your parents, your brothers, your culture, right? You learn by imitation. So you want to be like Michael Jackson and you start dancing, and that's how we like gain knowledge. Like if you want to create a YouTube channel, okay, then you start like comparing yourself to Dan Log, and you want to be like him, and then you start talking like him, and there is nothing wrong with that, because it's a first step in your growth and in the learning process. Now, if you just stay there at that stage, then that's a problem, because you will never actually be yourself. You'll always be trying to be someone else. But when you're able to understand, okay, I can copy this person because they know more than me. And once I have used that, like strategically, I can use it as a tool to express myself better. You can use those moves. It's like Michael Jackson, he imitated James Brown. And he said, wow, that James Brown is amazing, so soulful. And he imitated him until he evolved and developed something new. It was his own style. So same with internet, and there's a lot of comparison, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it can even be healthy if you are aware. If you're aware that you can use it as an inspiration. Because if you use other YouTube videos as wow, that's so cool, it gives me an idea to create a new video, and I can copy it in a way as a stepping stone to my own style. Then it can be very helpful. Now, if you're just insecure and you're just like worrying about others and what others think of you, and then, well, that sucks. And unfortunately, most people are insecure. So they're just comparing themselves and not actually, using all the information that's out there, just consuming passively. And as they say, comparison is the thief of joy. But even thieves, can be very creative. So how I see it, like in my case, I compare myself to many people, to many people around me that I admire, and I use them to inspire me and to accelerate my growth. And when I feel it's enough, like I've learned enough from them, I just continue down my own path.
And talking about your path and tips, I know you have a crazy story, because I mean you have lived in so many countries, studied so many things. But can you share a little bit about the moment when you realized you had that mentor within you, like that person who wanted to develop himself and maybe teach others and help others be their best version? When did this happen?
Different moments and different intensities, but deep down, I think it's been with me since I was a kid. Like if I look back, and it's funny because I have like a screensaver. The background on my phone is a picture of me as a child in Colombia, and it's just like a cute kid. I was like 3 years old, but when I look at that kid, it's like wow, like he was just so wise and like happy, and he knew who he was. He wasn't trying to be someone else, and I kind of found that since I was a kid. I'm not sure why. I had that connection with myself. But then as I grew and I became more conscious, I had different moments that I talk about in my book, in the book I wrote called Meditation Secrets. Mostly about 10 years ago in my early 20s, I was stabbed in the back and I almost died. I was in Bogota and I had a near-death experience. And then I was saved miraculously and I had like a spiritual awakening. So that was an intense moment as well to realize, wow, I'm alive. This is a gift. And then moments like that, when you just have a deeper love, deeper awareness, deeper connection, like even just now, you can find a deeper connection with yourself.
So about that moment in Bogota, what would you say was the biggest lesson around this? Because I mean, it was sounds horrible, and I know this city can be dangerous.
Biggest lesson is to be grateful that we can breathe, that we're alive, and to remember that, as corny as it may sound, everything is love. Everything is made of love and energy and light, and this is a great mystery and a great blessing, and we're spiritual beings. So, thank God I was able to realize that. And I could have been angry or resentful, but I was grateful, and I'm grateful to share that with you and with people, and that's one of my purposes, to inspire others to remember that no matter where you are, who you are, what's happening in your life, even if you're going through a tragedy, you're alive, and there's always something to be grateful for, because you're actually a spiritual being. You're a miracle.
Yeah, that is the biggest test of gratitude. When you get stuck and you find gratitude within you, that's admirable.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between thinking about gratitude and actually feeling it. When it comes to habits, I think it's important to have the habit of really just feeling grateful. It can be a small thing, something that actually makes you feel, relaxed on a deeper level. I've been rereading a book that I really enjoy. I have it here with me. It's called Blue Truth by David Data. And he just talks about be free as love now. So the whole book is about just relaxing your mind, regardless of what's happening, whether something good is happening or something bad. Like those are all perceptions, right? But if you're able to relax your mind, your awareness, connect to something bigger, then you will find that love, that gratitude, that however you want to call it.
Wow, I didn't know that book. Yeah, I think what you're saying is very true because I had tried gratitude before, like doing the daily to-do list, and I became robotic. I wasn't feeling it, and actually, Dan Locke was the first person who, with his attitude of gratitude, which said like, feel it, don't just do it robotically, but actually feel the gratitude, and that really, it changed me. I have never tried that, for example, with kindness.
Yeah, like whatever you are struggling with in your life, most people nowadays, they struggle with lack of focus. And the biggest remedy for that is just truth and integrity. If you're distracted all the time and you can't focus, and you focus on being truthful every day, like being in integrity, when you say you're going to do something, you do it, and you don't tell lies to others or yourself, you will gain a lot of focus and you will feel like there's less just chatter in your mind. And that's something that my meditation teachers also talked about a lot, because one of their rules as monks is they don't lie. It's one of the rules. They have many rules, like more than 100 rules. It's like being in the military. but for meditation. They have many, many, many rules. I don't recommend it. It's not for everybody. But one of the rules is don't lie. And what they say is that when you lie, you're just wasting your energy because you're creating a story in your mind that is, it's just adding unnecessary information to your life. Why are you exaggerating this and saying that you're the best and blah blah when it's not the truth? Because then when you actually want to focus on something, you will have all this energy like dispersed in your mind. So I think that practicing truth can be very powerful if you are struggling with distractions, and if you're struggling with scarcity, you feel you don't have enough time or money, or that you feel you're a victim, generosity is amazing. Yesterday, I got a big bonus from Dan Locke's team because I was one of the
Another
top
one.
performers last month.
Was that
So
the sales quarter?
kind of, I got this cool prize recognition, and after the prize, I'm not sure why, I went online and I wanted to give back and practice generosity. So I went to a website for animal conservation and I adopted an elephant.
Really? That's so nice.
Yeah, I adopted an elephant from an elephant sanctuary in Kenya. And they had all these different elephants and their stories and like how they were rescued. And I mean, you can adopt them by donating like $100 a month or a year or whatever, and you can adopt them. So for me, that was a way to practice generosity. Doesn't always have to be like with money, because you can be generous with your time, with your affection, especially in relationships with families. If we were more generous, like imagine that would solve many problems, right?
I mean, it's something that if we all did, the world would change for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
So on your own journey, I keep coming back to it, but Dan Locke says that he found out that success is not equal to fulfillment, that sometimes there are different paths. How you find this? I mean, have you been able to bring together maybe your passion with the way you make money, or for you, have you found out that you have to kind of separate them for them to work?
I mean, for me, they're just words. They don't really, like, you can give whatever meaning you want. For me, it's really a matter of being aligned with who I am, what I want to be from moment to moment. Like when I was a teenager, I loved reading literature, and I read a lot and I wrote a lot. And then I changed, and then I got into like health and nutrition and yoga, and then I changed again, and then I got into business. So that's what I'm doing now, and that makes me feel successful, fulfilled, however you want to call it. I think the names are not that important, because at the end of the day, it's what you focus on and the meaning that you give to it, and most importantly, the daily actions that you take, right? So it's awesome right now if I am able to make money with sales, with the people I work with my own yoga business, and then express myself by adopting an elephant, by traveling with my girlfriend, by helping my parents. For me, that's success right now. In the future, might be something else, I'm not sure. So I think you choose at the end of the day what those mean to you, but it comes back to yeah, to being generous and joyful and truthful.
Can you share a little bit about what's your vision? Because I see that right now you have your Facebook group, Magnetic Sales.
Yeah.
Do you have a vision yet, or do you just want to go with the flow? What are your plans with this community?
Yeah, I have a vision and I have a clear goal, because I want to help business people, and more specifically sales people, to be more mindful, to be less stressed, and to learn from meditation and spirituality certain things that they can use on a very practical level to improve their lives and also to improve their businesses. Because they're connected. Yeah, I want to teach meditation to salespeople, and that's part of the community, magnetic sales.
It's very much needed.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I will be creating and launching a course soon and a coaching program eventually to offer that to wider community, bigger companies. And I'm really excited about it because I can see that it has helped me, and I'm nothing special. I've applied certain things, like it's not rocket science. If you practice generosity and truth every day, you're going to make more money. It's just inevitable. Like if you're in sales and you practice generosity and you add a lot of value to your clients, they're going to buy from you. That's just cause and effect. And if you are persistent, if you're in integrity, you will achieve your goals faster because you'll be more focused. So it's not woo, it's just a cause and effect. So those are certain principles that I think are very powerful in business and that I want to share. And that's one of my goals right now. And eventually to grow a team and reach more people with that and make meditation more accessible to the business world. And also to make business and sales skills more accessible to spiritual people, right?
Yeah.
Many yogis and healers, and they have a negative association with sales, and that's not really serving them. So they also need help.
Yeah, many of them see money as something dirty that is not related to spirituality.
Yeah.
Did this ever happen to you? And how did you overcome
Yeah,
it?
sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's an ongoing thing, right? It's like the more money you make, the more knowledge you have about money, the better you manage your money and invest it, and the more comfortable you are with it, then the better association you have, and then you understand that, yeah, it's just a tool. You use it. You can use it for very good things. You need a better environment. Most of us, we haven't grown in a super wealthy environment, so it takes time, it takes practice to rewire our brains to create a positive association to money so that we can all make more money and invest it and give it away and help more people.
I want to ask you the last question, which is if you could go back to the Daniel who was in Colombia, what advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, we're given two pieces of advice. Learn sales. Learn sales and communication. And second, practice generosity and truth. That's it.
That's what changed your life.
Yeah, that's it. Like you don't need it. It's no mystery.
Okay, Daniel, thank you so much. If the person listening is very interested in what you are saying, how can they find your book? How can they find your coaching programs, know more about you?
Yeah, you can find me on social media. You can send me a message on Instagram and Facebook, or you can go to my website, danielmatallana.com, and join our Facebook community, Magnetic Sales, if you want to stress less and earn more.
Awesome. And what about your book?
On Amazon. It's on my website. That's the fastest way to get it. Just go to my website or send me a message, and happy to send you a signed copy.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for sharing your time with us, being generous with your insights, knowledge, personality, and energy. I can really say that you have a very calming energy and positive energy. I think you live what you preach, and you can be an example to many. Thank you.
If you enjoyed the show, hit the share button and send it over to one fellow marketer or entrepreneur. We work hard to make sure they'll thank you for it. Also, to get featured on the show, go to valuetizing.com and apply to become our next guest. Until next time, keep valuetizing.